Hello everyone, it's Anataka here, and I have a card for the Just Cards video hop, and this time it's all about flowers. I decided to use the one of the new stamp sets from Simon Says Stamp, and I am going to be colouring this floral image using Versamark ink, heat embossing and my SIG markers. So basically, first of all, I am just prepping the paper and stamp, and like I said, I'm stamping it on BRISTOL smooth cardstock, and I had already prepped the card base using my anti-static tool, and since I've never used this stamp before, I'm adding lots of ink to make sure that get the image as clear as possible. Now I'm using Vintage Gold by Simon Says, and then I'm just heat embossing the image. I'll be colouring the image using my SIG Real Colour Brush markers. I think that's the whole name, quite a mouthful. I'm just using two pinks here, a light and a darker one. So I'm first putting a base of light pink and then a darker one on top, and then I'm using my watercolor brush to blend out these two colors. I'm trying to maintain a bit of a darker portion at the bottom of each flower, and to create a tiny bit of dimension, really. Nothing difficult, it's just basic colouring really. I'm not trying to be fancy or anything like that, just trying to create a little bit of movement within each flower. And then I used two different greens for the leaves. I kept them quite simple since they're quite small images. And then you have these smaller circle images all around, and I used an orange watercolor brush for those. And then just to add a tiny bit of sparkliness to the whole thing, I used my clear wink of Stella to add a wee bit of glittery parts to those. You can't really see it that much in the video, but in real life it gets a tiniest bit of sparkliness in between. Not a whole lot, but just a tiny bit, and I do love all things sparkly. And I also wanted the image to have a bit of a background, so I picked my lightest blue marker and just went around the edges, and then used my water brush to blend out that color. So it's not really creating a blue outline, but more like, I don't know, a blue mist that is covering the whole image in a way. It is very light, you can't really see it on camera, but in real life you can see this kind of a blue haze around the image itself. Then I die cut the image using MFT stitched circle dies, and then I used a larger die to die cut a gold cardstock to be kind of the background for the image. And I'm adding loads of foam tape to the stamped image. And then I also picked one of my doilies as a background as well. I thought it was a bit too much, I don't know, the image and then the gold circle was a bit too harsh, so I decided to I used the doily in between to create a bit more softness, but still to make sure that you can see all the gold stuff beneath. I used more foam tape to add a bit of dimension so that you will be able to see the gold circle underneath. Then I'm using the Sentiment Congratulations from a clearly Besotted stamp set, and I'm stamping that with Versamark ink. This is from Simon Says. And then I'll be heat embossing the image with the same Simon Says gold embossing powder to keep it all in the same goldish kind of color. And I'm just using my coffee filter to catch all the embossing powder, so it's easy to funnel it back into that little jar. And since this card is quite clean, I decided to add a small selection of gemstones, and these are from Pretty Pink Posh. I think they're called butter cream or scotch. I will have them linked down below. I can't remember the name at the moment. They're a really light yellow, really soft and pretty. And when I had finished arranging these gemstones where I want it, that basically finishes off the card. I have all the supplies I use linked below the video, and I really like how this card came out, soft, sweet and feminine. So thanks so much for watching. See you later. Bye.